Setting your meeting up in Facebook Live.
There we are.
Although it says now it's streaming live. See, I'm not sure that I'm loving the Zoom, but hey, everybody, welcome to Funnels and Follow-Up, 1 day and 16 minutes late. I know we said 2:45, but at 2:45, I got a little text message from Stacy that said, oh yeah, I need some extra time because I got to take care of the dogs and get some water. And yeah, my water isn't here. Well, whatever. So welcome.
Even when you plan ahead, you know.
I know. I should have planned ahead. It's in the kitchen. I know that.
Things get in the way. Life happens.
Stacy Brayuka, Done For You Concierge. You are a productivity guru. You are my productivity guru. You are the fire under the butt that is me. And we've got so much to talk about. We've got it, even though this is supposed to be evergreen, we have an event coming up on December 29th of 2020. How to get rid of the evils that are 2020 and prepare for 2021. We can't get rid of all the evils of 2020.
No.
But yeah, sadly. And we're calling that how to get rid of the evils of 20. No, we're calling that the Plan-A-Thon.
Goal Getters Ultimate Plan-A-Thon, where we're going to put 2020 in our rear view.
Yes. 2020 will be in our rear view. 2021 will be in our front view with a plan of action.
Laser focused, baby.
That's what we're all about, is laser focus.
And we're going to put our nuts all in one basket.
We're going
to put our nuts in the right baskets. We don't want it all in one basket, but we're going to put our nuts in the right baskets.
No, I do the same thing with the eggs when I collect them in the morning or in the afternoon or whenever my hens decide that they're going to make eggs. I don't put them all in one basket.
Maybe the hens need to have a Plan-A-Thon.
They probably do.
So they can plan to have their eggs at the certain time.
That would be nice. That would be so nice.
I think you should invite the hens when you go outside.
I will invite the hens to the Plan-A-Thon. Okay, so let's talk productivity. Your background is as a clinical social worker. You've done that for many years, and as such, as a teacher of clinical social work, as a therapist, you had to come up with systems and ways of being, and you've taken that now into helping coaches, creatives, consultants, authors, and other business owners, other solo entrepreneurs, to become more productive. Let's talk, what is productivity?
Well, you definitely hit the nail on the head, because what people may not know about us as social workers is, what they think about as a social worker first, just to kind of give everybody a baseline.
Right.
Is that a social worker is somebody who steals babies out of houses. Well, just to clear that up, I never did that. My primary work has been in clinical mental health, but it's doing a lot of home visits and a lot of telephone calls and a lot of meetings and paperwork and this, that, and the third. Well, and not usually during 9 to 5 hours, let me tell you. Sometimes it was 7 a.m. until 10 o'clock or better at night, and different days were different.
Right.
In order to have a good life balance of self-care, taking care of yourself so you could do the work and getting the work done, and family, you had to be very particular about how you planned things, how you did things, and not multitasking, because multitasking is a misnomer. If you are multitasking, you are not giving your full focus to any one task, and you're giving half-assed focus to all of the tasks you have.
Right.
So, we had to focus in to get things done, but sometimes we were interrupted. You're driving a lot, you're driving to a family's house and making calls to the next family, or making calls, having meeting calls in between. And mind you, when I was doing primary work that I was doing, this was in the early cell phones. And most of my work was done with a Franklin day planner.
Ooh.
A huge Rolodex, and I still have them actually down under my desk here. I use them as props now, because Franklin day planner, great big Rolodex, and great big car phone. Bring that all down to an iPhone 12 Pro now, and you have wealth of more in your hot little hands.
Okay.
And so we can all do more now. So, you know, and people can relate to this. How many of us are on the phone while we're in the car working on business or connecting with people or talking to your mom because you can't talk to her any other time because you're in meetings all day or whatever, right?
Right.
That's part of what I'm talking about, but really it's those times where you want to block out your schedule. So what we used to do, this day is a paperwork day, or this
Yeah.
period of time, usually Friday afternoons were paperwork afternoons,
Okay.
because if you got it done early, guess what that meant? Yay, I'm out of here. Right. Okay. So time blocking was one of the things we learned. Later, after I really got out of the field, I learned about the Pomodoro technique,
Right.
which is a full technique. I've got a 5-day challenge on it. We'll drop the link in below here, but it's basically sessions of working with sessions of breaks, because those breaks are vital.
They are.
If you're just plowing through work for hours and hours and hours and not taking breaks, that's not good for you. And that's actually my Achilles heel, because I will do that if given.
So let me ask you a question then. Are you more productive with breaks? Because most people would think no.
They would, right? You would think, oh my gosh, if you take a break, you're not going to get anything done, right?
Yeah.
That's the difference between this magical technique. Is it literally is, and I won't go through all the steps, but you at the point you get ready to do that, you pick the one thing you're going to work on. Okay. One task, and you work on that task for 20 minutes.
Okay.
You literally laser in on it. Work on that task for 20 minutes, nothing else.
Right.
Then you've got to give your brain a break. Look around the room, give your eyes, for one, just giving your eyes a break from the screen.
Sure.
Looking around the room, get up and stretch and walk and what have you, right? We've got to give our bodies a break. Play some nice, relaxing music, or you know, if you're good where you can go for a 5-minute walk, you know, or in between you do 3 of these sessions and then you do a 15-minute walk in your third break.
Okay.
There's a full technique about it. And you actually can get more done in 90 minutes of Pomodoro than you can in 90 minutes otherwise. I would challenge anybody, work on a task for 90 minutes and document somehow how much of it you got done.
Okay.
Work on the same or similar task after you do the 5-day challenge, and then see how much you do or don't get done.
So it's way, way more.
You're going to get more done.
All right. All right.
Now, are you going to get more done the first time you do it? Probably, but maybe not. Okay. And what it takes, productivity also takes the PPP. Practice, practice, practice. Anything we practice, it becomes ingrained in us.
That's the same way you get to Carnegie Hall. Practice, practice, practice.
Yep. Same way. So, you know, and there's a saying is it takes 21 days to create a habit.
Right. So
do one Pomodoro session a day for 21 days, one 90 minute stretch a day for 21 days. And I will bet money that you will get more done on that 21st day than you did your first day. And it will become part of how you do your work.
All right. All right.
Making something part of how you do your work multiplies that productivity.
Okay.
But the other thing you're giving yourself is not just that focused productivity, but you're giving yourself permission to take breaks. You're giving yourself the break time you need and the balance you need, because our brain needs time to process that stuff that we've been focused on, or it needs time to process the things that we take in otherwise during the day, you know. And so we need that processing time.
All right. So we're processing, we're processing, we're processing. We're doing.
Mm-hmm. It's not just doing, we're focused on a task doing. Big difference.
Big difference.
Focusing on one task until it's done. So let's say you get your task done and it's been 15 minutes.
Okay.
Take your break early and get an extra bit of a break. Then go into the next 20-minute cycle with your next hot task.
Okay. So don't start the new task at the end of the first cycle.
I wouldn't, because your cycle's going to run out fairly quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would just take that time as extra self-care time, extra
Okay.
stretch break time. If in the 5-day challenge, one of the things we talk about is there's a process to finding those top 3 tasks you need done, your big 3.
Okay.
So you want to come up with your big 3 before you start your Pomodoros. So
where you start your day. Now, you said 90 minutes. So only 90 minutes of your whole day is devoted to Pomodoro, or are you saying that start with 90 minutes and then work your way up?
I would say start with 90 minutes and work your way up if you decide to do more. Or you may decide that one Pomodoro session per day is that's your focus time. And then the other rest of the time you can kind of do a little more work like you used to. Or
Okay.
maybe you do 2 Pomodoro cycles, one in the morning, one in the afternoon.
Okay.
You kind of build from there. Everybody does it a little bit different. Some people literally Pomodoro their entire day. Like that's how they work.
Do you Pomodoro your entire day?
No, but I used to.
Oh, okay. So why don't you?
I will say that other people who don't Pomodoro kind of got in the midst of that.
Okay.
And it is hard to do Pomodoro when you're also working on being in other meetings and working on, potentially impromptu phone calls and things like that. So because what you do want to do when you are doing that Pomodoro time is you want to focus on the one thing. So what I do when I am Pomodoring, when I'm palming, I think is a lot of people call it. When I'm palming is I will turn the ringer off on my phone. I'll turn the notifications off on it. I turn the notifications off on the computer, the iPad, and the phone because they're all 3 in front of me right now.
Got it.
Notifications are off.
Okay.
So that I can focus for that 90 minutes, you can focus for 90 minutes without having to call, whoever back.
Right. Sure.
If it is an emergency, my family and friends know that if it's an emergency, call back twice in a row and I'm going to answer because the phone, even though my ringer's off, my phone will ring through if that's the case.
That's the case.
All
right.
Yeah.
So
no FOMO.
No FOMO.
You know what FOMO is?
Fear of missing out.
FOMO is fear of missing out. So you don't have fear of missing out on that call. And if you're waiting on somebody to call about something important, don't do your Pomodoros during that time period, but make it a habit that you do regularly.
All right.
Don't make that be the excuse that helps keep you from it either.
You are a self-professed geek girl.
A little bit.
Well bet. Well bet.
Little bit. Yeah.
So you're a self-professed geek girl. You are Barry's sister from another mister for as far as geekiness goes. You and our dear Barry would geek out together for hours at a time.
Never the best geek sessions or geek arguments, geek discussions. We would have disagreements over our perspectives and things, but we still learned from all of those because we loved both the disagreements and the agreements.
That's it. So what role do you teach, do you coach that technology plays in productivity? Some people hate technology, some people love technology. What role does technology play for you in productivity?
For me, it plays everything.
Okay.
For almost everyone, it can play a vital role if you let it. If you let it become the tool that you use, not the scary thing that abuses you.
How do I control it so that it doesn't become the scary thing that abuses me or the thing that takes more time than it's supposed to save? That I think is the biggest problem. It takes more time to learn and to do than it does to save.
Yeah.
Then it saves.
It depends on which thing. Okay. When I do coaching with people about technology, number one, the first thing we do is I take my therapist hat and put it on and say, okay, let's find out all of the things that you are wanting technology to do for you or all of the feelings you have about it and everything. Let's find out all of that first. I want to know the landscape that I'm dealing with. Is it scary? Is it not? Which things do you use? Which things do you not use? Which ones are working? Which ones aren't? What do you want it to do? If it could be a magical, if it could be a magic wand, what would it be? What would it look like? Right. And then I calculate things out in my geek little head, and we go, okay. So then I come back to you and go, okay, which ones do you want to start with? Where I may have some ideas, and if you don't have ideas of where you want to start, I may say, okay, here's where I think you're having your most struggle. This is where we'll start. Or here's what can maybe be the most benefit to moving you forward. Let's start with that one. Or here's the easiest one. You need easy success. Let's start there. So I'll make some judgment calls or whatever, and I'll present some ideas to you.
Okay.
And then I start helping you work on the one piece. You want to work on one piece of that at a time. If it is scary or hard for you, you want to work on one piece at a time. Maybe it's using the Pomodoro app, which there are tons of. Maybe it's using a Pomodoro app to do your productivity sessions.
Okay.
So we find the one that fits for you, because not all apps fit everyone.
All right.
Just like that little one size fits all thing in a dress. What the world? Nothing fits everybody.
Liars, all of that.
Nothing fits this that says one thing. If it says one size fits all, I laugh at it and go on. I might go, oh God, I wish, but that anyway. So we go for that we find that one app that works for you. Okay. Or another way that Pomodoro and technology work together. We just found out this morning, and it's a website that we went to, and people were doing Pomodoros together. So it was a Zoom call, which many people have learned how to do a Zoom call in 2020, right? So if you already know how to do a Zoom call in 2020, you don't even have to have the app. You can go to this thing and have accountability and productivity and meet new people all in one place.
Yep, we did that. We did that this morning.
We did the first. Kat and I broke our Pomodoro Zoom cherries together this morning.
Like it.
It was fun.
It was not high tech. It was not high tech.
It was not high tech, and I didn't. Here's what it was: is I wanted to get myself back into doing the Pomodoros more frequently, because even though I teach it, I slip too, right?
Right. We all
so
do.
I want to get more like that done. So I wanted a way, something that would make me, and I knew this would make me.
Right.
What's hard for me about the Pomodoros is taking my 5-minute breaks. And this morning I took 3 5-minute breaks.
During the 90-minute session, yes.
And then I took a lunch break after it was done. And I don't do those well enough either. So I had a natural time to take a lunch break, because I got more done during the sessions.
All right. So that makes it.
So there's multiple ways to deal with the technology for the same potential solution, and they're all different. And so that's where my two backgrounds come together as a magic trick, is helping you figure that out. Yeah.
Okay.
Because tech's it's scary, yes. And there's tech that's hard for everybody, including us geeks.
Right.
And it's just little baby steps for just like anything you don't really like to do. You might even find out later you really like it.
Okay. Ooh.
It's possible.
What? When do you delegate? When do you decide that? Because so most of the audience, most of the people you work with, I work with, they're either a couplepreneur or a solopreneur. Couplepreneurs just try to delegate to each other, and that never works out. And then solopreneurs have nobody to delegate to, so they just
that doesn't work out.
That doesn't work out. What do you delegate and when? How do you figure these things out?
Okay, so let's say the technology, you've tried it, and it's too hard. You've tried that particular technology and it's too hard, but it is something you need.
Okay.
So you've taken a bite of the peas and you go, don't like peas. I don't think I'm going to eat peas again, or I'm going to, you grow these gorgeous peas in your backyard. You're like, I don't like to eat them, but I want somebody to have them. So I, send them out. Bad example, but my, my example later is off today. You find, if there's something you find that you don't like,
Right.
you find out you can't do it all by yourself.
Okay.
I have many things I can't do by myself: copywriting, house cleaning, accounting. And those things are delegated.
Okay.
You can't do, don't like, don't want to do, or don't have time to do. You've palmed the heck out of your day, and there's still this task that just never seems to get done because it's in one of those categories.
Okay. I don't like it. I hate it. All right.
Don't like, don't want, can't,
whatever.
Don't have time for.
Yeah. Okay.
Then that's when you delegate.
And that's when, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yep.
And we've got great friends we know that run full agencies on delegation, that they take on people's stuff like that. Like you hand them the stuff and they get it done for you while you're getting your other stuff done.
You want to look for virtual assistants. You want to look for professionals in the field. You want to
look for online business managers.
Online business manager. You want to look for bookkeepers and CPAs and house cleaners. Those you can't get virtually.
Yeah, I know. So I wish I could.
I know, right?
Meal kits are a great example of it, though. People who don't like cooking, and they might not be able to hire a chef, but they could get those meal kits, or that you can get prepackaged meals and have healthy, good food. And you've delegated your meal plan, your meals.
Yeah. Delegating your meal plan like that, or just don't eat. Be like me.
That causes problems.
It does. Yeah. I do eat. Just not a lot. Which is why I look so damn good. Mindset. You talk about mindset being so important in productivity, and and I want to keep the theme of productivity. Why is your mindset so important in the theme of productivity?
Sometimes the technology you're using for productivity is not a piece of technology at all. It's this technology that we came with, pre-installed software. Right. It's how you've heard of artificial intelligence teaching itself stuff. Yeah. Guess what? This one in here, real intelligence. You can actually teach yourself stuff. I mean, and on the serious note, stop and think about it for a minute. This piece of technology, you can input A and B in and come out with an answer, and teach it to come out with the answer D.
Okay.
What other thing, other than maybe other than a technology device like a computer, what other thing does that? Besides a brain.
Right.
Now, there are animals, obviously, we share with other animals that they are learning and sentient beings, but just how amazing it is that you can teach yourself, that it teaches itself.
Right.
Not just that you can learn, but you can teach yourself. It doesn't always have to be something someone else is teaching you.
Right.
It is functioning. So apply that to, you can teach yourself any new trick you want to learn. You can teach yourself any new habit. All you have to do is practice. You can get to Carnegie Hall just by practicing.
Practice. That's how you get to
and so now that's part of it. That's the calculating, the teaching, the learning. That's that piece.
Mm-hmm.
The other, and so that's the cognitive and thinking part of it.
Right.
There's also the psychological part of it.
Okay.
So, because in our, as far as our brain is you've got, thinking and feeling going on.
Yeah.
You've got to have both. You've got to come into things with a positive mindset and the mindset of abundance even is another piece. Mindset of abundance, mindset of tenacity, mindset of discipline, mindset of,
really just the mindset that you can do it.
Mindset of confidence.
The mindset of confidence,
tenacity, abundance.
The mindset of competence. Confidence
and competence. I am competent. I am disciplined. I am ready. I can do it. I am supported, because that comes next. That comes with the next thing.
How do I change my mind? How do I change my mindset?
That part's, it's hard and it's easy.
Give me
The hard
something
part,
to help.
the hard part is when we are in the darkest parts of ourself, we need to be ready to make the change. Number one, crisis, the old description of I can't remember which Asian language, it being crisis and opportunity being the same character. It is true. There are times in our life, frequently crisis can be opportunity. I have worked with eons of people who are in the midst of crisis, and that's when their best opportunities are, or can be, if they're ready. So it's recognizing that crisis can be opportunity is one thing. And just knowing that, not knowing it when you're in crisis, but just knowing that all the time.
Right.
So that when crisis comes along, you recognize it as opportunity. That takes connecting the synapse of crisis in your brain, the word crisis even literally, to the word opportunity in your brain. So it would be something like creating a mantra: crisis, opportunity, crisis, opportunity, crisis, opportunity. What you're doing when you do that, or if you write it on the wall, you write it on whatever, and you repeat it to yourself over and over, you're connecting those, you're neurologically, you're biologically, literally with the chemicals, you are connecting those two concepts in your brain. So that when crisis comes up, what's the first thing you think of?
Opportunity.
After you get over the crisis.
Right.
You
Okay.
think of opportunity.
So
It goes the
all right.
same with any habit we're building. You can create different patterns like that that you can teach your brain. So if I can bring up a habit that I recently worked with somebody on breathing. Okay. There's a breathing technique that I teach as a therapist, and it fits with different things. And not this particular person, but other people. Frequently, I teach people this one with anger. So it's, we'll find a key word that is where their frustration is, whether it's angry or frustrated or alone or overwhelmed or whatever it is, whatever their key word is of the thing that's just getting at them, or they're having trouble getting over.
Right.
And we'll connect that word with breathe. So it could be my personal mantra. One of the first times I ever did this was when my brother eats. He has allergies, and so when he eats with his mouth open, and you guys all know how horrible. Oh, it just takes my anxiety through the roof.
Really?
Oh my God. I am a sound. Yeah. Misophonia is the name of the disorder of sounds that cause people. It literally makes me so agitated. Angry. I want to lash out at the person, even though it's not their fault. So my mantra that I taught myself at the time, and this was 20 plus years ago, was crunch, breathe, crunch, breathe, crunch, breathe. And still, those two words in my head, when I hear someone doing that, my brain, the first things it thinks of is breathing. And so it reminds me to go into that breathing pattern.
Okay. So
same thing when my husband snores at night. It's the same one. Snore, breathe, snore, breathe, snore, breathe.
Okay. So
and you're connecting the synapses. So you want to connect. That's how one thing you do to that change your mindset is the internal part.
Okay.
The next thing you do is the external part, which is support. You need to have people around you who support the changes you're making, the goals you have, the you want to be, the you are, that the total unconditional love that our bestest friends, our family, when when family's in good, well-tuned order, I guess you could say. It's those things. It's when you feel the most held up.
Okay.
So because you need that too.
So the mantra then is so that if you keep saying the mantra, when the irritating situation occurs, you just stop and breathe.
your brain, you don't even necessarily even stop, because your brain automatically thinks breathe, and it may start in that breathe once you do the habit of doing it. So you do the habit of breathing. Also, you practice the breathing whenever, so that when you're thinking the word breathe and you're practicing that breathing, you basically are creating and if you people are familiar with if this then that, or an automatic chain of events, just in general, an automatic chain of events. When this happens, do this. When this happens, do this. And you're creating that chain inside here.
So that let me understand this, so that your body does it, or so that your body reacts as if it did it?
Yes, and.
Yes, and. Okay.
Yes, and.
All right. All right. All right. Show us the breathing technique.
Okay. This one's okay. I haven't done it live in a little bit. This breathing technique, I put it together. It's like many therapists do. I put the way I do it together when I was working with children, especially 5-year-olds and younger. So it's, if you can count to 4, you can do this technique. So I wanted to make it where they could do this. All they had to do was count to 4. All right. So the first thing, and I'm going to show you guys first, and then we'll practice it together.
Okay.
The first thing you do is take a slow breath in through your nose at a slow count of 4. So it's, then you hold that breath for a slow count of 4. And then you push it all out through your mouth for a slow count of 4. And you make sure you push all of the air out of your lungs. And yes, there were parts of that are comical as you know what.
Yeah.
Then you take a couple of regular breaths. And at night, I teach people this as a way to help them go to sleep too, because then you can what you do is you do that whole cycle 4 times. So if you can count to 4, you can do it. And it does help your body relax. You're getting more oxygen to yourself. It's just a general good thing to do. Don't be around people with COVID while you're practicing this one.
Probably not. Yeah.
Breathing in.
Probably not. Yeah.
It might not be the healthiest.
Don't have your mask on, because
don't have a mask. Don't be doing this one. Yeah. Do this at home, in private, in good ventilation, in that whole, my public health self had to say that.
If something is, if you happen to be indoors, like you happen to have to be shopping or something like that, you may have to just leave the basket, get the hell out of there, and start the breathing technique. You might.
I have before left a basket, gone into a bathroom, because you may or may not, people don't recognize necessarily when you do it. What you just saw me do was a very dramatic presentation of it, so that you could see the pieces. But I have done that breathing technique in meetings where people don't even know I'm doing it.
Yeah. Okay. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and we start in, hold, out. Ready?
In through the nose, hold in your chest, out through the mouth, and then regular breaths. Ready?
Ready.
You feel how much came out of your lungs with that with it when it went out.
Yep.
And you might have I had a little bit of a brain rush.
Yeah.
A little bit of a brain rush in between. That's why you don't do them back to back. You want to take a couple normal breaths in between your rounds.
All right.
Okay. And so it's you're practicing your breathing technique at least once a day, or when you think of it.
Yeah.
And you're practicing that mantra at least once a day, or when you think of it. Like my mantra, I would write it down everywhere. I'd make it your screensaver on your phone with a cool picture that is a calming or a good picture, and the words.
Okay.
And, people don't have to know that whatever it is, it's a calming picture with the word, lonely on it.
Right.
And they're like, huh? But you know what it means.
Right. And that's all that counts. Then you know what it means.
Yeah.
So we are coming out of the world's worst year ever.
I'm thinking.
Okay. For so many of us,
I'm not going to call it actually the worst. I'm going to call it the most challenging year humans have dealt with definitely in our lifetime.
probably
And
since the
I'm going to say, yeah. Well, 100 years ago, there was a pandemic, a large pandemic rather, because there are pandemics more frequently, but 100 years ago, we dealt with a pretty large pandemic, a world war and some other stuff. So, we had some pretty crappy
the
stuff.
Spanish flu went into the First World War, went into the Depression.
The Depression went into the Holocaust, went into the Second World War. And then we had some breathing room before the Civil Rights Movement.
Right. So we've got some pretty shitty decades ahead of us.
We don't know that.
We don't
doesn't have to completely repeat. That's just it.
Okay.
Doesn't have to completely repeat because there's abundance, there's love, there's whatever. We can choose.
We can choose to change this. We can choose to change this. This doesn't have to be the end of the world.
Yep.
But it is the end of the year, and
Creator.
Traditionally, at the end of the year, we begin to prepare for the next year.
Mm-hmm.
So you and I, along with Paula Allen, are going to do something to prepare for 2021.
Get your goal getter on.
Get your goal getter on. We're not go-getters, we are
goal getters.
You're goal getters. So it's the ultimate Plan-A-Thon.
What is this thing you're looking for?
Right. What is this thing that you're looking for? So this is going to be the ultimate Plan-A-Thon. It is on Tuesday, December the 29th, and it's going to start at 9 a.m. on the West Coast, which is noon on the East Coast.
Right. And those of us in between, we're somewhere in between there.
Yeah. So if it's not 9, it's 10. If it's not 10, it's 11. But
9, 10, 11, noon, wherever you're at.
Figure it out. Look at a map.
We're going to do a couple hours worth.
We're going to do a couple of hours worth. It's 3.5. I'm going to guess it's going to go to like 4.5 hours because of the 3
I think
of us.
Yeah.
Well,
there's talk of an after party.
Oh, there's talk of an after party now.
Yeah, there's
talk. Told me about the after party, but apparently we're having an after party.
There's talk of an after party, so you might just block out your day.
I would block out the day. I would definitely block out the day for this. Yeah. So where can people sign up? How can we do this?
We'll put the link in the description. But it's going to be www.stacybraiuca.com/Plan-A-Thon. And like I said, we'll put the link in there.
We'll put the link in.
It's like Kat says, it's going to be 9 a.m. till 12:30, 11:30, 12:30.
12:30.
11.
Yeah. 12:30.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
3.5 hours.
Yep. Of learning about social media and content planning.
Right. Launches
and promotions planning, and personal and self-care planning. We're going to do lots of different types of planning. We're going to do a little bit of digital planning. We're going to do some, conceptual planning. We're going to do some, it's going to be high level. This is to build the scaffolding for your 2020, the scaffolding towards that goal.
Right. And you're not. So we make plans, God laughs. 2020 was, that's enough.
Epitome.
Plans. That's the epitome of we make plans, God laughs.
Yeah.
Started out
the year. Make some plans that'll flex. We're going to be ready for that flexibility and how we get through it.
That I think is the key, because there were events that were planned, there were lives that were planned, there were all kinds of things. There were, launches planned and classes and everything. And I gotta say, everybody knows, my listeners know, you know, I got hit with a great big ocean this year when
Yeah, that was an unplanned
that was
ocean.
unplanned, yeah. And I never planned for flexibility. I never planned for how do I stop, give myself time to think, and then do whatever needs to be done in order to move.
Mhm.
And so I am reaping the havoc of that, of not having any way of stopping and just giving myself a chance of reworking things. Stuff's going to happen in 2021
Yeah.
and 22 and 23 and on and on and on and on. I think probably one of the biggest things that we want to impart on you in this day is, here is the framework for you to plan your year. And so it doesn't matter. You can go back and watch this planning day, and we'll probably end up making that available somehow, but it doesn't matter when you do this, because plans change, but you have to understand how to change the plans without changing them in a panic.
How to change plans without being panicked about changing plans.
Right. Or doing
How do you
it
go,
in a
oh,
panic.
I need to switch this. Boom, okay, keep going.
Right.
How do I change this? Oh, okay, keep going.
And not doing it in a panic.
Yeah.
Without panicking, and not doing it in a panic.
Right.
So we're going to put the link in there for you, and it's how many, what were we charging, $497 for the day?
Well, I'm just gonna, just for the context, you've got about 100 years worth of geekness in this. Couple hundreds and hundreds of years, not hours, years, hours and years and years worth of coaching and helping people's in this.
Right.
People who normally charge usually probably $300 an hour each, and you've got 3 of them for 3 hours.
That's $900 an hour.
Yeah.
So
How much are we
$497
charging for it?
$47. Yeah, we're charging $47. That was not my idea. That was your idea.
That must have, I was just going to say that must have been my idea, because I always underprice things.
Yeah. We just agreed with you because we didn't want to have that argument, but yeah, we're charging.
That's why that happened.
Yeah,
I get
for
it
a
now.
half day, we're charging $47.
Well, but you know, I also was thinking, you know, it's the Christmas, the holiday spirit. It's the help people get springboarded.
Yeah, okay. I'm good with it. We've got stuff out there. We're gonna put a link in there.
$47.
$47.
Yep.
To hang with 3 pretty impressive chicks and get your year planned. So,
and we might laugh a little.
And we might laugh a lot.
I have a feeling we might laugh a lot.
I think so. So what last thought do you have to share with the audience about productivity?
Humans they want change. We constantly want change. We desire it. We want things to change, right?
Yeah.
We're scared to freaking death about it. We're the last ones who want to do the changes.
Okay. Very fair.
But in order to have what we want, we have to act on that.
All right.
So even if you're afraid of it, work on one small thing at a time and take your steps to make the small change. Okay. Because that one step at a time is going to make big changes.
All right. What? I think it was a Christmas special. Maybe not. But there's a song, Put One Foot in Front of the Other. What special?
Oh, I think people should put that in the comments. Which it was. I think it was a Christmas special. It was one of those cartoon specials when we were kids. You guys put it in the comments.
Yeah, yeah, soon you'll be walking out the door, put one foot in front of the other, and soon you'll be dancing across the floor or something like that.
So then you'll be
So, but
ah,
I don't remember what show it was from. So if you know, please put it in the comments. I'm sure if somebody gets it right, we will have some sort of prize for you.
you know what? I will get whoever gets it right. I will give one of my digital productivity planners for.
Oh, that's nice.
And that's
nice.
and actually that's an upsell for, I mean, if you want, you know, when you're looking at coming to our day,
right,
you will have a pop-up after you get yourself scheduled for the day. You'll have a pop-up that says, do you want a digital planner to bring with you?
right.
And if you don't know what a digital planner is, don't worry, we're going to talk about what it is and everything. If you have
You got that
any
section.
device that has one of these, especially, well, yeah, or any device that you do your, you know, that replaced your Franklin Day planner and your Rolodex, then digital planning you will love.
All right.
You will absolutely love it. It's kind of like a mix between the good digital stuff where things work better and faster,
Right.
but also you can still handwrite in it.
All right. That looks good.
Yep.
So join us on the 29th. All the details are going to be in the comment section. And until next time, we're going back to Mondays for the rest of this year anyway, which means like one more Monday. And then who knows, I might change it next year, but
you might change stuff.
I might change stuff.
Because things can flex.
Well, and you know what? It doesn't matter because then you're going to find us in the funnels and follow-up page on Facebook. You're going to find us in Cohen Coaching on.
You're forever
YouTube.
there.
We're forever there. So until next time, everyone, just keep plugging away and see you on the 29th. Bye-bye.